In the year 2247, humanity had finally outgrown its cradle. Earth's children had spread their wings among the stars, establishing bustling colonies on Mars, orbiting research stations around Jupiter, and even venturing into uncharted territories beyond the Kuiper Belt. The audacity of our expansion was as dazzling as the constellations we now called home. But with progress came unexpected attention. Deep in the silent vastness of space, something stirred, a presence that watched our every innovation with a hunger that defied explanation. Commander Livia Reyes stood on the bridge of the flagship Aurora's Edge, her eyes fixed on the vast panorama of the cosmos. The shimmering starlight mirrored the determination burning within her. For years, humanity had prided itself on ingenuity and resilience, yet the sudden surge of mysterious signals and incursions threatened to shatter that hard-earned confidence. As she scanned the data streams flickering on holographic displays, Livia couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that these were not mere accidents of space, but calculated moves by unknown entities. The earliest reports had come from the outer colonies, where isolated research stations reported inexplicable energy surges and brief, ghostly transmissions. Engineers had dismissed them as cosmic interference, until the first alien vessel was sighted near the lunar orbit. That ship, sleek and unlike any terrestrial design, had circled the Earth Defense Fleet's perimeter, its intentions as enigmatic as its origin. It was the catalyst that ignited a chain of events destined to redefine humanity's place in the galactic tapestry. Livia recalled the encrypted briefings from command. Intelligence hinted at a pattern. Several alien civilizations, each with their own histories and cultures, had turned their attention to our burgeoning technological prowess. Their advanced systems, perfected over eons, were suddenly eclipsed by an insatiable desire for our innovations. Our warp drives, energy cores, and AI architectures that represented the pinnacle of human creativity. The question reverberated in every strategic meeting, every sleepless night in command centers. Why do they crave what we build? Late one night, as the Aurora's Edge sailed through a field of glittering nebulae, Livia convened her most trusted officers in the war room. Soft hums of machinery and distant cosmic winds set an eerie backdrop. "We're no longer just exploring space," she began, her voice both resolute and tinged with uncertainty. "We've become beacons of a new kind of energy, a creative force that resonates with civilizations far older than we could imagine." Her gaze swept the room, meeting eyes filled with equal parts courage and concern. "If we fail to understand what makes our technology irresistible, we may find ourselves outmatched in more ways than one." Outside, as fleet formations arranged themselves in tight defensive patterns, the silent void seemed to pulse with hidden machinations. Every monitoring station across human space reported similar anomalies: flickering beacons, shadowy silhouettes darting near the fringes of detection, and cryptic data bursts that spoke of lost histories and alien legacies. These were not random acts of cosmic vandalism. They were deliberate probes into the heart of human progress. Livia's mind raced through historical analogies. Humanity had always thrived on challenge, from primitive skirmishes over territory to modern battles for supremacy in the digital age. Yet this was different. It was as if the cosmos itself had recognized the indomitable spirit that had propelled humans to unimaginable heights. A sense of pride mingled with apprehension surged through her. The very trait that had inspired revolutions and breakthroughs now beckoned adversaries from the far reaches of space. In a quiet moment amid the controlled chaos, Livia retreated to her personal quarters, where mementos of a past life, a faded photograph of a family picnic on a sunlit Earth, a well-worn journal filled with childhood dreams, reminded her of the stakes involved. Every invention, every sacrifice made in the name of progress had led humanity to this precipice of destiny. In the solitude of that modest room, she reaffirmed her commitment to not just defend their technology, but to understand its true value. The creative spark that ignited human innovation was more than circuitry and alloy. It was the heartbeat of a species that refused to be tamed by the cosmos. As dawn broke over the command deck, light cascaded over panels and consoles, infusing the ship with renewed vigor. The Aurora's edge was more than a warship. It was the embodiment of humanity's relentless pursuit of excellence. With every strategic decision and every battle maneuver, Livia knew that the future of Earth and its colonies depended on embracing that spark. The looming conflict was not just a clash of weapons. It was a collision of philosophies, a struggle to define what it meant to be truly alive. In that charged atmosphere of imminent conflict and introspection, Commander Reyes resolved that the coming days would be a turning point. Humanity would face the cosmic challengers head-on, armed with both technology and the creative spirit that had always set us apart. And so, as the silent void echoed with the prelude to war, the awakening had begun. A clarion call to defend not just our inventions, but the very essence of human ingenuity. Deep in the outer rim of human-claimed space, beyond the familiar constellations mapped by Earth's earliest astronomers, an enigma began to unravel. A series of signals that defied every expectation of cosmic noise. At a remote monitoring station orbiting the icy moon of Erebus, arrays of sensors picked up faint pulses, like rhythmic heartbeats in the darkness. Initially dismissed as random interference or the ephemeral echoes of quasars, these signals soon revealed a complexity that could not be ignored. They carried a cadence and structure that hinted at intelligence, their patterns reminiscent of mathematical formulas and ancient poetic meter. Dr. Elias Morrow, a renowned astrophysicist whose career had been built on deciphering the hidden language of the stars, found himself drawn into the mystery. In a cramped, cluttered lab aboard the research vessel Celestial Seeker, Elias pored over streams of data that lit up his holographic displays. The signals weren't sporadic bursts. They were measured, deliberate communications, each pulse a brushstroke painting a message across the void. His fingers trembled as he traced the sequences, realizing that they corresponded to prime number sequences interwoven with modulated frequencies far beyond Earth's conventional radio spectrum. "This isn't noise," he murmured, his voice echoing in the silent room. "It's a language. A call." In a series of urgent briefings held on the bridge of Celestial Seeker, Elias shared his findings with a small cadre of scientists and military advisors. The atmosphere was tense, yet electric with possibility. Military strategist Colonel Jarek Dunning pressed for caution, his weathered face betraying a mix of skepticism and awe. "If these signals are indeed a structured message," he said gravely, "then we're dealing with a civilization, or perhaps multiple civilizations that have been observing us, waiting for a moment to reach out." The assembled group exchanged wary glances. They knew that every known account of alien contact had ended in either wonder or warfare. Elias's investigation soon revealed a series of signature bursts embedded within the broader signal, bursts that seemed to encode information about physical phenomena, schematics of energy circuits, diagrams of propulsion systems, and even glimpses of star maps. Working tirelessly, he cross-referenced these images with human technology databases. The images bore an uncanny resemblance to early warp drive prototypes and advanced power cores that humanity had only recently begun to perfect. It was as if these signals were both a warning and an invitation, a clue to the source of the aliens' insatiable curiosity about human technology. Late one evening, as the Celestial Seeker drifted near a nebula whose iridescent clouds concealed secrets of their own, Elias finally decoded a pivotal fragment of the transmission. In a cascade of light and sound, a sequence emerged, a plea interlaced with technical schematics. "The spark of creation resides where innovation thrives," it declared, in a form that defied human language, yet resonated deeply with the scientific soul. It was a message laden with both admiration and urgency, suggesting that the technology humanity had developed was more than mere machinery. It was the embodiment of a creative force that these ancient observers yearned to understand and perhaps reclaim for themselves. The revelation ignited a fervor among the crew. Dr. Morrow's assistant, a keen young engineer named Talia Eng, proposed a radical hypothesis. What if these transmissions are not hostile but desperate attempts to recover something lost? Our technology, our very innovation, could be the key to restoring a balance that has been absent from their civilization for millennia. Her words, delivered in a hushed yet determined tone, sparked a heated debate among the experts. Some feared that any form of engagement might invite unwanted interference or even incite an all-out conflict, while others argued that deciphering the true meaning behind the signals could usher in an era of unprecedented collaboration, or, at the very least, provide humanity with insights that would revolutionize our understanding of the cosmos. In the following days, as the Celestial Seeker maneuvered into a stable orbit around the enigmatic nebula, the team worked around the clock. They established a secure communication channel dedicated solely to the analysis of the alien signals, using algorithms and AI systems that could adapt to the unknown syntax. Every breakthrough in decoding was met with a mixture of exhilaration and trepidation. The more they unraveled, the clearer it became that these messages were a chronicle, a historical record of a civilization that had reached its zenith long before humanity had learned to harness the stars. The signals detailed lost technologies and the fading memories of creative ingenuity that once powered a golden age of invention. Yet, amid the data and technical diagrams, an underlying question persisted. Why did these alien civilizations, with their own storied advancements, reach out to humanity in this singular, almost reverential manner? The answer, as it gradually emerged from the tangled web of frequencies and imagery, pointed to a legacy of innovation that transcended species and epochs. Humanity's relentless pursuit of progress had inadvertently become a beacon, a signal that shone across the cosmic darkness, drawing those who had forgotten how to create, how to dream, and how to build anew. As the Celestial Seeker continued its vigil near the nebula, Dr. Morrow and his team stood at the precipice of a revelation that could redefine interstellar relations. The signals from the void were more than an alien communique. They were a mirror reflecting the very essence of what it meant to be alive in a universe of endless possibility. In that quiet, awe-stricken moment, humanity realized that the path ahead was fraught with uncertainty, but also ripe with the promise of discovery, a promise that would soon lead to encounters that would challenge the fate of both our world and those reaching out from the shadows of time. A silent alarm shattered the calm of the command deck as the first hostile vessel emerged on the long-range sensors. The sleek, angular contours of the alien warship glinted against the blackness of space, its weapons primed for combat. Commander Livia Reyes's voice cut through the mounting tension. "All hands, battle stations. We have company. Engage at will." Outside, the void erupted into chaos. Human starfighters, agile and determined, streaked toward the enemy in a ballet of laser fire and dodging plasma bolts. In the midst of the fray, Captain Jonas Hart's voice resonated over the comm link. "Reyes, I'm leading a boarding party. We're going in hot. Prepare for full-scale extraction if things go south." On the bridge, Livia's eyes never left the tactical holograms flickering with shifting enemy formations. "Hart, be careful. We don't know what tricks they've got up their sleeves," she warned. In the control room, a flurry of voices confirmed that several alien interceptors were converging on the human fleet from multiple vectors. Down on the hull of the enemy ship, Jonas and his small team of elite Marines stealthily docked in a breach pod. The interior was a labyrinth of dim corridors pulsating with eerie bioluminescent light. As they advanced, whispers of alien language reverberated through the walls. Lieutenant Mara Voss, Jonas's second-in-command, gripped her sidearm tightly. "This place gives me the creeps. I don't like it one bit," she murmured. Before Jonas could respond, a sudden burst of static interrupted their comlink. "Captain, we've picked up an encrypted transmission on this frequency," reported Private Chen, eyes wide as he scanned the alien script. "It appears to be a warning?" Jonas frowned, studying the flickering symbols. "A warning or a trap? Stay alert," he ordered. As the team turned a corner, they encountered a group of alien soldiers. The creatures were imposing, their armor etched with mysterious symbols. A tense standoff ensued in the narrow corridor. One of the alien soldiers stepped forward, raising a hand in what appeared to be a gesture of parley. In halting, guttural tones that managed to translate through the universal translator, the being said, "You trespass on sacred ground. Surrender your firepower or face oblivion." Jonas exchanged a glance with Mara. "We're not here to surrender, only to understand," he replied, voice steady despite the adrenaline surging through him. The tension in the air was palpable as both sides sized each other up. Suddenly, an explosion rocked the corridor from behind, sending sparks and debris flying. A human pilot from an overhead fighter had engaged enemy drones, the distraction tipping the scales in Jonas's favor. "Move!" Jonas shouted, seizing the moment. The alien soldier's expression flickered with something akin to surprise before the creature retreated into the shadows. In the ensuing confusion, Jonas's team surged forward, making their way to a central control chamber that pulsed with strange energy. Inside the chamber, a holographic display lit up, revealing schematics and star maps interlaced with technical details that eerily mirrored human designs. Mara, scanning the data, gasped, "Captain, look at these schematics. They're designs for our energy cores and even our early warp drive models, only they're altered, as if evolved over time." At that moment, a hidden panel slid open, and a solitary figure emerged from the darkness, a high-ranking alien officer clad in ornate armor. His voice, measured and cold, filled the chamber. "Your technology has stirred something long dormant within us. For centuries, we have watched your progress. Now we must reclaim what was lost." Jonas steadied himself. "Reclaim? Explain," he demanded, his tone a mix of anger and curiosity. The officer's eyes glinted under the dim lights as he replied, "Human innovation is not merely a tool, it is the essence of creation. Your devices carry the spark of ingenuity we have forsaken. In your progress, you inadvertently hold the key to restoring our legacy." Before Jonas or Mara could press further, the control chamber shuddered under the impact of another explosion, a twist of fate that sent both human and alien combatants scrambling for cover. Alarms blared and lights flickered as the structure began to collapse. "Fall back," Jonas ordered, his voice rising above the chaos. "We need to regroup and extract this data. It's our best chance to understand their motive." In the midst of the turmoil, a new twist emerged. Mara managed to secure a portable drive containing a segment of the aliens' ancient data logs. "Captain, we have something here, a piece of their past. It might reveal why they've been hunting our tech," she said breathlessly while dodging a stray energy blast. Jonas nodded, clenching his jaw. "Then we have no time to waste. We'll extract, analyze, and then come back. We need answers, and we need them now." The retreat was harrowing. Corridors that once echoed with the calculated cadence of enemy patrols now roared with the sounds of battle. With quick precision, Jonas led his team through collapsing passageways, evading enemy patrols and explosive hazards alike. Back aboard the Aurora's Edge, Commander Reyes debriefed the returning team. "What did you find?" she demanded, eyes scanning the drive's preliminary data readouts. Jonas, still catching his breath, replied, "They're not just after our weapons. They're after our ideas, our innovations. This isn't war for territory. It's a war for the creative spark itself." A murmur of disbelief ran through the room as the gravity of his words sank in. Reyes leaned forward, her expression hardening with resolve. "Then we have to defend more than just our fleets. We must safeguard the very essence of who we are. Prepare for a counteroffensive. If they seek to reclaim our spark, then we will ensure it burns brighter than ever." As the chapter closed on the chaos of that fateful boarding operation, a fragile thread of understanding began to weave itself between two worlds. The clash of arms had escalated into a deeper battle, a struggle for identity, innovation, and the right to shape the future. In that incandescent moment of turbulence and revelation, the stage was set for a conflict that would change not only the fate of the combatants, but the very nature of progress itself. The silence that followed the brutal skirmish gave way to a new, eerie calm as Lieutenant Zara Malik led her reconnaissance team to a barren moon on the outskirts of contested space. The desolate landscape bore the scars of forgotten conflicts, and amidst the rubble stood a derelict alien outpost. a relic of a civilization lost to time. Its architecture, a blend of organic curves and intricate angular designs, beckoned the team into its shadowed corridors. Zara's voice was low but resolute as she addressed her team in the dim light of their portable lamps. "Stay alert. This place hasn't been touched in centuries, but we're not alone in our curiosity," she said. Her words, measured and deliberate, carried both caution and excitement. Dr. Nikhil Rao, the team's xenolinguist and historian, adjusted his visor and peered at the faded symbols etched into the walls. "These inscriptions, look at them. They're not random. They form a pattern, almost like a script," he observed, tracing a finger along the delicate carvings. "I believe they might hold the key to understanding why our technology resonates so profoundly with these beings." As the team ventured deeper, the corridors lit up with ghostly holographic displays that flickered to life as they passed. A hologram of an alien council materialized before them, a group of solemn figures seemingly engaged in a ritual. Zara exchanged a glance with her second-in-command, Private Lila Torres. "This is more than a military outpost," Zara murmured. "It's a repository of knowledge. We might be standing in the very heart of an ancient pact." A sudden clatter echoed through the corridor. Private Torres immediately reached for her sidearm. "Did you hear that?" she whispered urgently. In the ensuing moments of tension, a mechanical hum resonated from deeper within the outpost. The team pressed forward, hearts pounding in unison with the mysterious sound. In a secluded chamber illuminated by a soft, pulsating glow from embedded crystals, they discovered a massive data core. Its surface was inscribed with alien symbols interwoven with schematics that unmistakably mirrored early human technological designs. Dr. Rao's eyes widened as he leaned closer. This is our work, or at least a version of it," he said, his voice hushed with awe. "It appears these ancient beings studied our technological evolution and perhaps even guided it." At that moment, a hidden door slid open, revealing a secluded alcove. Zara stepped forward and found a holocube displaying a cryptic message. The alien script gradually morphed into a semblance of human language, halting yet unmistakable. "In the union of lost wisdom and new creation lies the spark of eternal innovation." "Who would have thought," Zara said softly, the weight of the revelation pressing on her, "that our drive for progress was foretold by these ancient architects?" Before anyone could respond, a voice echoed from the darkness. "It seems you've uncovered our secret." The team spun around as an alien figure emerged, tall, with an aura of quiet authority. His eyes glimmered with both regret and resolve. "I am Elion," he introduced himself in measured tones, "the last archivist of our people. I have guarded this repository for generations, awaiting the day when another civilization's light could rekindle what was lost." Private Torres lowered her weapon slightly, her expression shifting from hostility to cautious curiosity. "Why reveal this now?" she asked, her tone laced with suspicion and wonder. Elion's gaze swept across the team. "Your technology, your innovations, they are not merely tools. They are the embodiment of a creative spirit that my people once cherished, but have since forgotten. We watched as your inventions shone like beacons, stirring memories of a legacy we hope to restore. But with your progress comes risk. The same spark that ignites creation can also ignite destruction." Dr. Rao interjected. "So, you're saying that our advances are both a gift and a curse? That our very drive to innovate could revive ancient powers or lead to our downfall?" Elion nodded solemnly. "Our histories are intertwined. The relics you see here, the designs etched into this core, are part of an ancient pact, a convergence of lost wisdom and modern ingenuity. Your achievements may be the key to rekindling an era of true enlightenment, or they might herald a cataclysm if misused." Zara absorbed his words, her mind racing with questions. "What happened to your civilization?" she asked, her voice steady despite the uncertainty. Elion's expression darkened. "We reached heights of innovation that birthed wonders beyond imagination. Yet, in our pride, we lost sight of balance. Our creations became our masters, and in the ensuing chaos, we were consumed by our own legacy." A tense silence fell over the chamber as each member of the team grappled with the magnitude of Elion's revelation. The outpost, with its silent testimony of triumph and tragedy, now stood as a crossroads between two civilizations. Breaking the quiet, Zara declared, "We need to secure this data and learn more. If our technology carries a legacy that can either unite or divide, then understanding it is our duty, not just to ourselves, but to all who dare to dream." Elion inclined his head, a gesture of solemn agreement. "I will guide you through what remains of our records. But be warned, the path ahead is fraught with choices that will echo through the annals of time." As the team gathered around the ancient data core, their determination grew stronger. In the merging of ancient secrets and human ingenuity lay the promise of a future defined not by conflict, but by the hope of rediscovery, and the rekindling of a spark that could illuminate the darkest corners of the cosmos. Back on Earth, a palpable tension mingled with hope as the brightest minds gathered in the sprawling research complex known as the Axiom Institute. Here, among humming servers and state-of-the-art fabrication labs, Dr. Elias Morrow and lead engineer Sienna Cho set out to unlock the secrets hidden within the recovered alien artifacts. The relics from the ancient outpost, etched with designs eerily similar to human innovations, had already ignited fierce debates across scientific and military circles. Now it was time to turn that mystery into humanity's greatest advantage. In the lab's central atrium, Dr. Morrow addressed the assembled team, his voice steady despite the gravity of their undertaking. "We've uncovered evidence that our technology isn't just admired, it's been the catalyst for an ancient pact. These artifacts show that our innovations are more than machines, they are the embodiment of our creative spirit." His gaze swept across a diverse crowd of engineers, scientists, and strategists, each nodding in silent agreement. Sienna stepped forward, her eyes alight with determination. "Our task is clear," she declared. "We're going to merge this alien tech with our own systems to build a modular energy core. This device isn't just a weapon upgrade, it's a shield that could revolutionize our entire fleet's defense capabilities." Her words, charged with optimism, stirred murmurs of both excitement and concern. Colonel Jarek Dunning, who had flown numerous combat missions, interjected from the back of the room. "I appreciate the vision, but integrating alien systems isn't without risks. What if we inadvertently trigger a cascade failure, or worse, open a door we can't close?" His tone was pragmatic, tempered by years of battlefield experience. Dr. Morrow offered a reassuring smile. "Every innovation comes with risks, Colonel. But if we do nothing, our enemies will continue to exploit our advances. Our creativity has always been our strongest asset. It's time we harness that, our human edge, to stay ahead." For the next several days, the Axiom Institute became a crucible of collaboration. In one corner of the lab, Sienna and her team painstakingly reconfigured the alien circuitry, carefully studying every nuance of the recovered schematics. "Look at this pattern," she said during a late-night session, pointing at a holographic projection. "It's almost as if the design adapts in real time to external stimuli. That's something we've never seen before." Her colleague Marco frowned as he adjusted a calibrator. "If it adapts, then we might be able to tailor its performance based on the battle conditions. Imagine shields that strengthen in response to incoming fire." Amid the technical challenges, a twist emerged when the device unexpectedly powered on during a critical test. In the heart of the lab, the prototype, a compact, pulsating core, emitted a cascade of energy that briefly illuminated every corner of the facility. Alarm bells rang as engineers scrambled to secure the area, but Sienna calmly approached the glowing device. "Stand back," she ordered, her voice firm yet measured. As she carefully interfaced the prototype with a diagnostic console, a series of encrypted data streams began to flow across the screen. Dr. Morrow joined her, eyes wide with astonishment. "That data, it looks like a hidden message, perhaps instructions or even a fail-safe protocol from the ancient custodians." The room fell into a hushed silence as the possibility sank in. Their breakthrough device was not only a technological marvel, but also a relic of a forgotten legacy, potentially imbued with wisdom from civilizations long past. Colonel Dunning, still skeptical but visibly impressed, crossed his arms. So, our new core might be more than just an upgrade. It could hold the key to understanding why our technology is so irresistible. His remark carried a mix of cautious optimism and the hardened pragmatism of a soldier who'd seen too much loss. Sienna's fingers danced across the console as she decoded further layers of the message. The message suggests that the energy core is designed to amplify the creative potential inherent in its user. In other words, it's not only a defensive tool, it's an extension of human ingenuity. Our very ability to innovate is what makes this device so powerful. She paused, letting her words sink in before adding, "And if we can master that, we're not just surviving, we're evolving." Later that evening, as the team convened in a secured briefing room, Dr. Morrow summarized the day's breakthrough. Today, we took a decisive step toward reclaiming our technological future. We've harnessed alien ingenuity and infused it with human spirit, creating something that can protect us and propel us forward. His tone was both reflective and inspiring as he continued, "We must remember that every risk we take carries the weight of our legacy. It is our duty to use this edge wisely to safeguard not only our fleets, but the very essence of what it means to be human." Colonel Dunning nodded slowly. "I still have my reservations, but I can't deny that we're on the brink of something extraordinary. Let's hope our enemies don't get wind of this before we're ready to deploy." A ripple of determination swept through the room. With the energy core as a symbol of their unyielding drive, the team understood that their efforts were far from over. The integration of alien technology wasn't merely about defense. It was about reclaiming a narrative of progress, about proving that humanity's creative spark could illuminate even the darkest voids of space. In that charged moment, as screens glowed with streams of data and the hum of machinery underscored their resolve, the human edge shone brighter than ever. It was a reminder that while the cosmos was vast and filled with ancient mysteries, the spirit of innovation would always be humanity's guiding light. In the cold expanse above Jupiter, the human fleet gathered for what could only be described as the turning point of the war. Commander Livia Reyes' voice crackled over the comlink, laced with steely determination. "All units prepare for engagement. Today, we fight not just for survival, but for the future of our creativity." The enemy, a relentless armada of alien warships, had already formed an ominous crescent around Jupiter's swirling storms. Human starfighters surged forward, streaks of light against the void. In the command center aboard the flagship Aurora's Edge, Colonel Dunning barked orders. "Keep your formations tight and conserve power for the energy cores. Our counteroffensive depends on every spark of innovation we've built." Meanwhile, Captain Jonas Hart led a squadron of elite pilots in a daring dive towards the enemy's flank. "Stay sharp out there," Jonas called over the comm, his voice steady amid the chaos of battle. "Remember, our new cores aren't just shields, they're our edge. Let's show them what human ingenuity can do." As the fighters clashed in a frenetic ballet of laser beams and plasma bursts, one of Jonas's wingmen, Lieutenant Marisol Vega, spotted an anomaly on her radar. "Captain, I'm picking up a surge in power readings from the enemy's flagship," she reported urgently. "It's as if they're amplifying their own technology." Jonas's jaw tightened. "That's our opening," he replied. "Divert a squad to disrupt that power source. The rest, focus on keeping our formation intact." The battle intensified as human fighters began executing intricate maneuvers, dodging enemy fire and coordinating strikes that exploited the gaps in the alien line. Back on Aurora's Edge, Commander Reyes monitored the unfolding chaos on holographic displays. "We've integrated the alien tech with our own systems. Now it's time to test our mettle," she murmured to herself. Suddenly, an alert flashed on her console. "Commander, sensor array indicates an incoming barrage from multiple directions. It's a coordinated pincer maneuver." Reyes quickly relayed orders, her tone calm yet forceful. "Activate all defensive measures. Protect the energy core at all costs." The alien assault grew fiercer. Explosions rocked sections of the human formation, and amid the turmoil, a stray missile grazed the flagship's hull. In a burst of quick thinking, Reyes ordered, "Deploy countermeasures. Fire the adaptive shields." The shimmering barrier flared to life, absorbing the energy of the impact. In the midst of the battle, Jonas's squadron achieved a breakthrough. Lieutenant Vega's diversion had successfully disrupted the alien flagship's power grid, sending shockwaves through their ranks. "Enemy flagship destabilizing," Vega shouted, her voice ringing with triumph. "Their shields are dropping." Capitalizing on the opportunity, Jonas shouted, "Now all units, press the attack!" Fighters swarmed in, their energy cores pulsing with renewed vigor. The human vessels surged forward with renewed force, unleashing a barrage of coordinated strikes that rocked the alien command ship. Inside the enemy flagship, alarms blared as systems began to fail. A hasty, discordant transmission filled the channel. "This is Admiral Karash. Retreat. We can't maintain formation." The transmission cut off abruptly, leaving a stunned silence on the human comm. Back on the bridge of Aurora's Edge, Reyes allowed herself a brief, hard-won smile. "Excellent work, everyone. We've turned the tide for now, but remain vigilant." Her words carried a mix of relief and determination as she surveyed the battlefield. Jonas's voice came through again, urgent and resolute. "Commander, our pilots are holding the line. We've forced them into disarray. Prepare to deploy the final phase. Target their weakened command vessel for a decisive strike." In a climactic moment, as human fighters converged in a final coordinated assault, the enemy flagship shuddered under the relentless barrage. The alien vessel, once a symbol of fear and ancient might, began to break apart in a cascade of sparks and debris. As the battle raged on, the human fleet held firm. The explosive climax of the counteroffensive marked not only a tactical victory, but a symbolic assertion of humanity's creative spirit. In the echoes of that fierce clash, every pilot, every engineer, every soul aboard the fleet knew that the future would be forged by the spark of human ingenuity. And today, that spark burned brighter than ever. The hard-won momentum from the recent battle had pushed humanity to a precipice, where every decision now held the weight of survival. In the dim light of the war room aboard Aurora's Edge, tension coiled in the silence like a live wire. Maps, schematics, and intercepted alien transmissions were spread across the central table, evidence of both victory and impending sacrifice. The air was thick with foreboding, each officer aware that the final act of this conflict was drawing near. Commander Reyes surveyed the displays, her mind racing with possibilities. Something was amiss, not in the enemy's strategy, but within their own ranks. Rumors had quietly circulated among the engineers and scientists about mysterious data discrepancies and unexplained system anomalies. Even the Energy Core, humanity's latest technological marvel, had exhibited unpredictable behavior in its final tests. As the meeting wore on, a sense of unease grew, punctuated by subtle glances exchanged between high-ranking officials. In the labyrinthine corridors of the flagship's research wing, Dr. Elias Morrow and Sienna Cho pored over the latest integration logs. Their eyes were fixed on sequences that defied expectation, lines of code and circuit patterns that deviated from the designed protocols. Late one night, while isolating one such anomaly, Sienna's hands trembled as she uncovered evidence that traced back to a single individual, Dr. Adrian Blackwell, a senior researcher whose outward dedication had always masked an inner ambition that bordered on obsession. His name had never surfaced in official briefings, yet discreet whispers among the technical staff had hinted at his secret correspondence with an unknown party. Without much need for words, a grim understanding passed between Elias and Sienna. The Energy Core, the symbol of humanity's creative spirit, had been tampered with from within. Its adaptive brilliance, which had given them an edge in battle, now harbored a dangerous vulnerability. This sabotage was not accidental. It was calculated betrayal meant to undermine humanity's final stand. As the minutes ticked away toward the decisive offensive, every heartbeat echoed the looming threat of internal subversion. Outside the confines of the research wing, the fleet prepared for one last, desperate push against the alien armada. The battle lines, though reeling from earlier assaults, were being drawn tight with renewed fervor. In the chaos of pre-battle maneuvers, a critical system failure began to ripple across the flagship's defenses. Alarms blared in the corridors, and a cascade of error messages illuminated the command center's screens. Commander Reyes, already burdened by the external enemy, now faced the specter of treachery from within her own house. A hushed conversation in the back of the war room revealed the stark truth. Private logs, recovered from the Central Control Unit, contained encrypted messages linking Dr. Blackwell to alien emissaries. These transmissions detailed clandestine meetings and exchange protocols for advanced technology, the very energy core that had defined their human edge. Each revelation was a shard of betrayal, cutting deep into the fabric of trust that had been built over years of united struggle. In the midst of this internal strife, chaos erupted on the battlefield outside. Human fighters engaged in desperate dogfights with alien interceptors as the weakened command vessel of the enemy teetered on collapse. The external conflict had reached a fever pitch, but now the enemy had unwittingly gained an advantage from the inside. Sabotage had left critical systems vulnerable at the exact moment when every defensive measure was needed. As Aurora's edge shuddered under a concentrated barrage from a hidden enemy drone, a lone figure emerged from the shadows of a maintenance corridor. Dr. Blackwell. His expression was unreadable as he navigated toward a concealed control panel. With deliberate precision, he initiated a sequence designed to disable the adaptive shields and expose the flagship to a crippling strike. His betrayal was as calculated as it was silent, a whisper of treachery in the heart of human ingenuity. The ensuing moments were a maelstrom of action and consequence. Automated countermeasures activated as engineers scrambled to regain control, but the damage had been done. In a single fateful decision, the saboteurs' actions threatened to reverse all the progress humanity had made. Even as distant explosions punctuated the void, the internal battle raged in the corridors of the flagship, a fight for the very soul of human innovation. Amid the turmoil, Commander Reyes rallied her loyal officers. Without many words, her determined gaze conveyed that the war was not only against an external enemy, but also against the poisonous seeds of betrayal sown from within. As the flagship's critical systems began to stabilize and loyal technicians moved to isolate the compromised circuits, the final reckoning loomed. The betrayal had cast a long shadow over humanity's triumph, and as the battle outside surged toward its climax, every soul aboard knew that the outcome would be defined by the purity of their collective resolve and the unyielding spirit that refused to be betrayed. The final battle had come to a fevered pitch. The remnants of the alien armada, battered and disorganized from the internal betrayal, now faced a united human force determined to end the conflict. In the depths of space above a shattered nebula, the flagship of the enemy, once the formidable center of their power, hovered, its systems faltering. Commander Livia Reyes stood on the bridge of Aurora's edge, her gaze locked on the flickering holographic map that detailed the enemy formation's last stand. "All units, this is it," Reyes announced in a low, resolute tone. "We've contained the saboteurs, restored our shields, and now we must deliver the final strike. We fight for our future, our spirit of innovation, and the very essence of humanity." The words, simple yet potent, resonated with every officer and pilot across the fleet. Outside, the void was alive with a deadly dance of starships and fighter craft. Captain Jonas Hart's squadron, their energy cores pulsing in brilliant blues and oranges, streaked towards the enemy flagship. In the cockpit of his fighter, Jonas murmured to himself, "We've come too far to let treachery and tyranny win. Let's light up the darkness." His voice was steady, even as laser fire crisscrossed his field of vision. Across the battlefield, the human fleet executed a series of precise maneuvers. Colonel Jarek Dunning, coordinating from the Tactical Command Center, barked brief orders over the comm. "Focus your fire on the flagship's weakened sectors. We need to overload their power matrix and bring them down." His words were clipped and urgent, reflecting the high stakes of the moment. The enemy flagship shuddered under the relentless barrage of human missiles and energy beams. Explosions rippled across its hull, sending fragments hurtling into space. Within the chaos, an alien countermeasure briefly surged to life, unleashing a volley of plasma bolts that scorched the void. But the human adaptive shields, powered by the revolutionary energy core developed by Sienna Cho's team, absorbed the impact, their luminous barrier flickering in defiant response. In the midst of the onslaught, a critical moment unfolded. As the flagship's core systems began to fail, a squadron of human fighters led by Lieutenant Marisol Vega dove in to deliver a concentrated strike at the vessel's heart. With precision born of desperation and determination, the pilots executed a synchronized attack. One fighter, evading a collapsing section of the enemy craft, managed to breach the central conduit. A deafening explosion followed, rippling through the alien vessel like a shockwave. Inside Aurora's Edge, a momentary silence fell over the bridge. Reyes's eyes narrowed as she watched the flagship's holographic profile begin to disintegrate. "They're crumbling," she said, voice tight with both relief and anticipation. "Maintain formation and prepare to exploit this breach." Yet, even as victory seemed imminent, a new challenge emerged. The enemy's remaining ships, desperate and disoriented, launched a counteroffensive. A stray missile from an alien cruiser threatened one of the critical support vessels. In a split-second decision, Jonas redirected his fighter to intercept, dodging a hail of energy bolts. "Hold on, support ship!" he shouted over the comm, weaving through the chaos. His daring maneuver forced the missile to miss its mark, buying precious time for the crew below. As the enemy formation faltered, the human fleet pressed the advantage. Waves of coordinated strikes battered the remaining alien vessels. One by one, their warships exploded or were forced into retreat. The once imposing armada was reduced to a scattering of debris and dying transmissions. In the final moments of the battle, as the alien flagship's remnants disintegrated into cosmic dust, a calm determination settled over the human command. Reyes addressed her crew one last time. "Today, we have defended more than territory. We have preserved our right to create, to innovate, and to dream. Our losses were heavy, but our resolve has carried us through. Let this victory be a beacon, a new dawn for all humankind." The words echoed through the corridors of Aurora's Edge and into the hearts of every soldier, scientist, and pilot. Outside, the vacuum of space bore silent witness to the end of a brutal conflict. Human ingenuity, tested and tempered in the fires of war, had emerged victorious against overwhelming odds. As the fleet began its cautious journey home, debris from the alien armada illuminated the starry expanse, a somber reminder of the sacrifices made and the lessons learned. The adaptive energy cores continued to hum softly, a pulsating testament to humanity's undying spark. And in that quiet, suspended moment, a promise was etched into the annals of history, that the light of human innovation would forever shine in even the darkest reaches of space. The war was over. Humanity had not only defended its creations, but had also proven that, even in the face of betrayal and chaos, the spirit of progress and unity could triumph over the void. A new dawn had indeed arrived.